Welcome back, Book Fiends, to Wicked Good Books, a channel dedicated to books and things book adjacent. My name is Nick, and I'm the host of this channel. Welcome back, everyone. I got a very special guest for today's video. We're going to be doing a book tag. I believe it's called the I Can't Believe It's Fall book tag. I was tagged by Brittany from Books with Brittany to do this tag, and I'm going to have my friend Lisa, who's been crashing with my family for about a week now. I'm going to have her read the tags to me and try to answer them as best as I can. I haven't prepped too much for this. All I know is that they are fall related. I have seen some other booktubers do a similar video, so hopefully this will kind of blend in well with the other ones. So, first question.
Fall is in the air. Crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting.
That's a big pull for me too. I love character. I'm a character-driven reader, and then a setting-driven reader. I love a colorful setting or a unique setting. I would say for this answer though, that would be any of the books in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I think that Roshar as a setting, it takes place on a different planet than ours. The environment, the flora and the fauna, the sky, the ground, the culture, everything is so vibrant and colorful. And I think that of all the settings on this shelf, it is the most vibrant and vivid setting in science fiction fantasy to date.
Question number 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written, but also deals with heavy topics like loss or grief.
I feel like the easy answer for this one would be, for me anyways, coming from me, would be Harry Potter. It is one of my favorite book series of all time, and it deals with grief and loss. I would definitely say, out of all of them though, Book 5, Order of the Phoenix in the Harry Potter series, I think that one deals with grief and loss. Not the best, but like more... I think of the 7 books in the series, Book 5, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, deals with grief and loss in a unique way. I'm kind of biased because Sirius Black is my favorite character, but I feel like when they go to Sirius's house, and anytime they go to Sirius's house, or I think it's his aunt's house, or I think it's the house he grew up in. He didn't stay there. He ran away from home. But they go to the house that he grew up in, and then the vibe of that house, like the way she describes it, especially his bedroom and the things that he left behind, it just... everything about it just reeks of grief and mourning and just like of a life lost because his friends died at a young age. So
Especially the wallpaper.
Yeah, when all the people are burned out. Loved all those scenes, but I think Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix definitely has a beautiful, grim vibe to it, especially with dealing with loss and grief.
Question number 3. Fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new.
Okay. I keep this one handy at all times too. Stephen King's On Writing. This is a memoir on the craft. It's a book about writing for writers. I read this in college in my undergrad when I was studying to get my creative writing degree, my bachelor's degree in creative writing. And this was required reading at the time for that class. I think it was one of my fiction classes I was taking. This was required reading for that class, and I remember I was a huge Stephen King fan to begin with, but then something about him talking about the craft itself and not just telling a story, I just found immensely beneficial for me as a writer and as a creative. Another book that really affected me, it's nonfiction, is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Not all of it applied to me, but there was something about creative living and trying to live your life creatively and how to live a normal life or function in society, but also not lose your creative mind and keep the muse going with everything going on in your life. It's something about that book. I keep going back to it, and it definitely, especially when I'm in a slump, if I find myself in a writer's block slump or a book hangover or a reading slump, I always go back to Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I think she's the author of Eat, Pray, Love too, which is okay. It's not my favorite book, but I did like that nonfiction book that she wrote.
Question number 4. In order to keep warm, it is good to spend some time with people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend, or group that you'd like to be a part of.
There's so many good found families and misfits. There's plenty of families that I wouldn't want to hang out with that are they're evil or nasty. Or I think Yeah, the bands in Nicholas Eames' the band series, Saga and Fable, from Kings of the Wild and Bloody Rose. I would love to hang out with them. They're just such badass characters. From both perspectives, Saga is a bunch of old dudes representing classic rock, and then Bloody Rose is just like this pop '80s pop culture band that just like I feel like those two would be such a cool thing to hang out with. I don't know if it would like rub off the same way because it's the Easter eggs aren't a part of their real world as they are for the reader, but I feel like they would be a really cool group to hang out with. You're really unique characters with like really cool stories to tell. And then there's the easy answer again, not to keep dropping Harry Potter in this video, but I feel like Molly, the Weasley residence, would be like on my top 5
to
families.
to just enter their house.
Yes.
Would be
On Christmas specifically.
Yes. Whenever they, at least in the movies, when they sit down and she has the plate of pies,
It's
little
like
mini
the
pies.
best
I'm like,
breakfast
that's
I can imagine.
all I want in life. Number 5. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall-colored spines.
Ooh, I got a couple of those. I should put them together and make like a little book collage. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Let's see what we got. This is the easy one right here. I have a lot of fall-colored books now that I think about it. A lot of reds and oranges and golds. We got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, since I've been talking about it so much in this video. Jeff Vandermeer's Dead Astronauts. Girl the Dragon Tattoo by Steve Larson. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. Dune by Frank Herbert, which I am actually reading this next month for a buddy read. I'm actually rereading it. We got Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. We got Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. And Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Number 6. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like the easy answer for those of like big fans of the fantasy genre would be like Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, because that whole book is literally the main character recounting his life to a chronicler. It's literally the whole, like, it's the idea of storytelling. He's like telling his life, and the 3 books are supposed to be the 3 days that he tells. Each book is a day. Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Hasn't finished yet. It's really cool. Making it into a TV show, I believe, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to, I think he's producing it and doing it. It's a lot of music. There's a lot of music in the story. He's kind of like a magical bard. It's like, I can't remember whose channel posted about it, but they were like, it's like Harry Potter for adults. It's pretty much like what Name of the Wind is. That'd be my best answer for that one.
Number 7. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark and creepy read.
Ooh, lots of those on this shelf. I'm gonna go with something I've read recently, because I feel like I have a lot of good horror books that I read. I'm currently reading The Shining Girls by Lauren Bucas. It's super creepy and unsettling, but it's like a serial killer story, so I feel like that's to be expected. So going with the more of a spooky vibe, considering we are in spooky season, or we're at the end of spooky season, I'm gonna go with Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which we actually read together. That was pretty spooky.
It was spooky. There was some spooky stuff in there. I was like,
Even like the casual nature of some of the ghosts, just being, it reminded me of The Sixth Sense a lot, where the ghosts were just like existed in their reality, but
yes.
they're reliving their last moments, and something about that.
It was like the naturalness in which they portray it. Like, it wasn't that it was like that they were like angry and scary in that sense. It was like the way that they're just so normalized throughout the entirety of it is what was so, I think, unsettling.
That's what got me too.
Question number 8. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day.
I'm gonna go with, there's a couple specifically on my shelf. Weathering with You by Makoto Shinkai. It's also a manga and an anime and a short novel, which I have here, a little prose novel. So it's a little short, like, wonderful little Easter egg of a story. I don't know if you've seen the anime or the manga. Same guy who did Your Name. It's quite wonderful. It's really intense, but really heartwarming, and it's got a lot of cool weather stuff happening in it. It kind of goes from the start of the year to the end of the year, so you kind of go through all the seasons. but I feel like it ends in a beautiful way. So that's my answer.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon.
I always love, especially my favorites, I always kind of come back to at least once a year. And actually, it's interesting, that's one of the questions, 'cause I have several books I'm coming back to in November and December. I am reading Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm rereading it as part of a channel buddy read with Brittany from Books with Brittany. I'm actually going to be doing a live show at the end of November. I'm not sure what the exact date is. I'll find out from her when she posts it, and then I'll let you guys know. But we're going to do like a Zoom live chat and talking about that book after we all finish it. So I'm excited for that one. And I think in December I'm going to be rereading Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I read that while my daughter was being born, basically the week before my wife went into labor. I was reading Starless Sea. I actually brought it into the delivery room to read while we were kind of waiting for everything to happen, and I really loved it. It has really good wintry, Christmassy vibes, so that's one I would like to revisit soon.
And last but not least, question number 10. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories.
Okay. I'm super simple. So down here in Florida, we don't get the luxury of having beautiful wintry breezes that can slip through the window. I used to just crack my window by my bed and have a book and a blanket, and that was like my jam. But down here in Florida, it's a little warm, so we just crank the AC. I got a nice baggy sweatshirt on, somewhere comfortable to lay with in my bed or a couch, and I'll usually crank my fan on high, have it just like blowing straight on my face with a little book light and hot coffee, and I'm good to go. I'm easy. What about you?
Cozy.
What is your ideal cozy book reading setup?
Definitely a hot drink, either coffee or tea. Definitely a big cozy sweatshirt. I tend to be a very cold person, so on top of that big, giant cozy sweatshirt and hot beverage, I like to have like an oversized blanket that I just like wrap around and shuffle around in. And I like to do that. And I like to have some music going, whether it be some lo-fi or a film score playlist. I made one on Spotify that's just like a compilation of all of my favorite film scores, because there's no words to it, so it is easier to like
Not get distracted.
Drown out the white noise in the background.
I love lo-fi. That's been a recent find for me, because I've been listening to lo-fi for a while, but definitely a recent addition to my reading setup, because it's not really distracting. I listen to while I write and while I read. Mostly lo-fi jazz or lo-fi hip-hop. There's a lot of cool seasonal mixes on YouTube that I really enjoy. Like the Chill Hop channel, which is actually where I found Blue Wednesday, the artist that does that allows me to use his music for my intro and the background. Love me some lo-fi while I'm reading. It kind of helps me stay in the zone, whether I'm reading or writing. Film scores especially, depends on the film score. What's your favorite film score to listen to read to?
My favorite film scores to probably listen to are either anything from the Fincher films by Trent Reznor, because they just kind of like lo-fi. It's just intense. They're pretty intense and they're pretty good. Not pretty good, they're amazing. Or any of the scores from the Wes Anderson films.
I didn't even think of that. That's actually a pretty good one. I love Wes Anderson films, and I didn't even think of those soundtracks as being like something to listen to while rereading.
The Fantastic Mr. Fox or Grand Budapest are my two favorite go-tos.
I love Life Aquatic. Mostly I'm a huge Bowie fan, so you get the French covers for all those songs throughout that movie. I really enjoy. So those are good ones. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you again for joining me on today's Wicked Good Books video on book tags. Thanks for hanging out with us for a week, and hopefully we can get you back on the channel soon. Yeah, for sure. I'm sad that she's leaving tomorrow, actually, so it's kind of a bummer, but we'll get her back here soon and maybe figure out some way to do a cross-state booktube guest spot for you. So sure. We'll figure something out. But thanks for stopping by, and as always, stay wicked. Welcome back, everyone. I got a special video planned for today. I have my friend Lisa still here. She's been crashing with my family for about a week now.
I think it's been far enough. Do it again. Alright, we're recording.
Oh, we are. I was just saying, what do you mean? I want to sneak this into one of the videos just to learn a little bit about you, because you're new to this channel, and it's probably not going to be the last time you're on my channel. You are my best friend. I've known you for 5 years. We met in film school. My kids call you auntie. My wife calls you sister. And I just wanted my viewers to get a little insight as to why you're on my channel, why you're my friend, what you're all about. So I have a couple questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
I already know the answers. It's kind of like not fair, but I'm going to ask you anyways for them. This is mostly for them. Okay. All right. So first question. I got like 3. Tell them a little about yourself. Who are you? Where you're from?
Jeez. What, like my elevator pitch?
Yeah. Give your Wicked Good Books elevator pitch.
I don't even have one. Okay, so my name is Lisa. I met Nick back at Full Sail, where we were doing our master's program for film production, and I mean, it was the first month we became friends, and then just like over the course of the year we just became best friends, and we've been best friends ever since. So after graduating from Full Sail, I ended up moving back home to Philadelphia, where I'm currently working as a videographer and editor for an advertising agency right in Center City. So that's pretty fun, but I was happy to be able to finally come back because I haven't actually seen
It's been a minute.
my second family for almost 2.5 years, which sounds crazy.
Definitely not making a habit out of that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that gap.
No.
Because it was last time I had seen you, it had been a year since I had seen you last,
Yeah.
and now this time it's been 2.5
getting
years.
further and
So it's
further
getting further and further, and I'm
I don't
not
like
okay
it.
with it.
Not okay with it. Well, awesome. Let's see. This is a BookTube channel, but we do books and books adjacent. So I want to talk about books and movies real quick, and music, things that we pop culture things that we enjoy. Give me your favorite book series of all time. Give me your favorite current band or musician that you're really into, and your favorite movie.
Okay. Well, my favorite book series? Jeez. I read a lot of one-offs, so that's kind of a hard question.
Okay.
I feel like Harry Potter is like everybody's go-to, or Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But if I'm gonna go with like obsession-wise, when I was in high school, I was like really, really obsessed with the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So I probably would say, like, as an overall series that I can remember being like ridiculously obsessed with, it was Hunger Games.
I think don't you have a pin on your bag or something?
I did
Mockingjay?
I did end up taking
That's
it
cool.
off. I'm sorry, but I did have I actually, as the movies came out, they were releasing pins of the bird logo on
Yeah.
the cover of each one, and I had a pin for each one, and that was on my backpack.
I love that.
Favorite band or musician or current obsession? My favorite band of all time is Paramore.
Mm-hmm.
I love Paramore. I will die for Paramore. Their latest album, After Laughter, was like, you would think that like a lot of times artists, like, their first album is the best, and it's not always so good as it goes, but they've literally gotten better with every single album. Their last album is my absolute favorite. But my current music obsession, as you know, is Fletcher. And if you haven't listened to her, go check her out. She's also from New Jersey, so I stand.
New Jersey representative.
Stand a New Jersey artist.
She's pretty wonderful. I've been listening to her all week. So.
And my favorite movie of all time is Walk the Line.
It is. For a second, I almost thought I thought you were gonna say Fantastic Mr. Fox.
So Fantastic
But
Mr.
Walk the Line is your favorite.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is in my top 5 favorite films, but the only reason that, like, I've seen other movies that I love and I probably watch more, and like I probably could say that it was my favorite movie, but the only reason that I keep Walk the Line at my number 1 is because that came out when I was like about 10 or 11 years old, and I can remember seeing that just the trailer alone, like, on TV, and that was the first movie that I had ever seen that I watched just a trailer for and was like, this is a movie, and this is something, like, I wanted to see it in theaters, and when it came out, I watched it on repeat. I still do, but I remember seeing the trailer for that movie and being like, that's what I want to do. I want to do movies.
Mine came later. I mean, I think Star Wars was like the start of it, but more like a storyteller. But it wasn't until Interstellar. That was like the same exact thing for me. So, well, awesome. Thank you so much for answering my questions. I can't wait to have you back on the channel, not just in Zoom form, long distance, but in person. We got many more videos to make and more content to create together. But thank you so much for hanging out with us on Wicked Good Books. And as always, stay wicked. Yeah! See? That was easy.